What's up, everyone? This is Mike with Rogue Overland.
And this is Nick with Rogue Overland.
And today we're going to talk about this 2017 Toyota Tacoma that Nick put together. Nick, 3-kid squad.
3-kid squad.
So I know you've got the X at home, which is a sweet rig. But a couple years ago, you built this bad boy.
That's right.
So what was the rationale behind building another rig like this? And let's get started with that.
Yeah, so we needed something to get the kids out comfortably, because if any of you guys wheel with kids, you know it can be stressful sometimes.
No, never.
Never. So although we could get everyone out in the Xterra, we were packed to the brim.
I've seen it.
Yeah, and
Tetris.
Yeah, Tetris. So we had an opportunity to get a hold of a 2017 Tacoma and liked the idea of going with the Adventure Trails habitat to give that additional space.
Gotcha.
So the rationale was get the kids out conveniently, easily, comfortably, but still be capable enough to get anywhere that we want to go.
Gotcha. Is there a reason you went with Toyota Tacoma?
Well, basically we went with the Tacoma because with the already having the SUV, we wanted to be able to get all the gear and everything out of the passenger compartment.
Okay, so you wanted to do the pickup style, which
Yes.
which is honestly gives you a lot more storage than an SUV.
We were having in the SUV, I mean, stuff just piling over in the footwells. I mean, you know.
Oh yeah, we're there. Do the same thing, yeah.
So my idea was get it all out, make it safe for the kids to be inside, all the gear to be in a separate compartment.
Awesome. No, this is a great looking truck. I love the color. Yeah, let's tell you what, let's get into it. We're standing here at the front corner.
Yep.
Let's talk about the body a little bit, and we'll talk about the habitat. Kind of go. Let's just walk around kind of the outside of it, and then then we'll get to some of the nuts and bolts, because I know you got some great stuff underneath this truck too.
Absolutely. So yeah, well, basically starting off on the front, the armor is kind of a hodgepodge of things that I liked. So coming from a hardcore wheeling background, I wanted things that weren't going to fail. And I actually went through a couple different front bumpers before I got to this one. And the reason why I ended up with the Hefty Fabworks front bumper is because of the way it bolts on. They have a bracket that bolts to the frame and several mounting points, and then the bumper mounts to that bracket.
Yeah.
So I have no concerns about when we're winching with this bumper, the bumper actually bending the frame or the frame horns.
It's gonna pull the whole
or
frame
pulling it
with it,
off. Yeah. So we went with the Hefty Fabs front bumper. It is aluminum. We tried to save some weight on this one because we were, you know, if we're wheeling hard, we're taking the Xterra. So save some weight, went aluminum. Aluminum skids across the front, and those are Pelfrey built skids.
Nice.
And they do all right. I probably should have did that first skid steel
That's kind of
instead
what
of
I
aluminum.
did with mine.
Yeah. So I think I would stay with aluminum all the way back, but that first skid plate, I should have gone with steel because I've bent it and I've had to bend it back a couple times.
That's the one you always hit first too.
Yeah. So yeah, first time I took it off for an oil change after hitting it hard, getting it back on was a lot of work, a lot of sledgehammer work to bend it back. So those have done well. I can't speak highly enough about the white knuckle off-road sliders. Run it on the Xterra, have run them for years, and they're fantastic. They take hard hits and they don't bend. They do really well.
So you smack them a few times. And,
yeah, and they get used. You can see the skids, you know, the paint scraped off them. So they work fantastic. And I like the kick out on it with this being such a long vehicle. I can pivot. Yeah, I can pivot off of that if I need to in tighter trails.
Nice.
And then in the back, I went with CBI off-road dual swing out.
Solid stuff.
Yeah. So, and the idea with the dual swing out being with the 3 kids, we're cooking meals for a lot of people. We're washing people's faces. We're changing, you know, cuts and scrapes. You're doing a little first aid work. So I like having the table on each side.
Yeah, you basically got a full like 180.
Yes.
With the tailgate, you got cooking or whatever tabletop all the way around. Which is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So table on each side, and then of course the tailgate. So we've got a lot of room to take care of all the things that are needing to get taken care of.
Yeah, and what else? So you even with all the bed space, you got a lot of stuff hanging on that CBI with the dual swing outs. What all you got back there?
So running our 5 gallons of water for, you know, typical stuff around camp, wash hands, wash dishes. 5 gallons of extra gas. high lift jack.
Yep.
I have the Crazy Beaver shovel back there, which is actually pretty fantastic. You think it's kind of a gimmick, but it is really a really solid shovel.
Yeah.
And then typically
that's shovel number 2, right?
Yeah. So speaking of wheeling with kids.
Yeah. Speaking of off-road failures with kids.
We did a late night crash into a camp one night, and my kids took the shovel out somewhere, and were playing with it while we were getting camp set up, and I couldn't find the shovel.
Yeah.
So
I've lost so much stuff.
Yeah.
My kids have lost so much stuff.
Yes. So somebody found an awesome shovel.
Awesome.
One day.
But anyway, back to the bumper. Sorry.
I typically keep my Deadman off-road earth anchor attached back there, and then there is the spare tire in the trasheroo.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's it looks good back there. It's a nice bumper.
Yep.
I know on the last, what was it, the summer trip, it took a pretty good hit in the creek bed there, didn't it?
yeah, it did. We were you could check out that video, the Wickenburg, the off-road video on our channel, but. Yeah, we had some creek crossings going on and some people getting hung up, and I may have backed into a boulder and dented it a little bit. Yeah,
may have.
Yeah,
I like
may
that.
have. But that one's steel back there. It's pretty solid.
Awesome.
It does well. The only thing, and I think this is just a pickup truck issue, is with all that weight back there, way behind the back axle. I can feel it when we're on more aggressive trails. You can feel that back end plays a role, and it
I can imagine
doesn't quite crawl as well as it could if that weight wasn't there.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, even with the kids and the idea of wanting it to be comfortable, we still want to be able to wheel it. It needs to go the places we want to go, and we like to get away from people. So,
Gotcha.
So yeah, this had to cut here to get a better approach angle, and then in the back had to cut the bed to get a better departure angle, and underneath we actually rerouted the crossover exhaust, because for those of you not familiar, Toyota has that exhaust that crosses under the transfer case. It's the lowest hanging point, and we were just hanging it up all the time.
Oh yeah, drag it on everything.
Yeah, so hacked that, rerouted it to get a little better breakover angle.
Cool. Yeah, the armor looks great on this truck.
And then winch, we're running a Warn 9.5.
The XP model, or
XP?
Is it the XP?
Yeah.
With the synthetic line and full factory 55 on the front too.
Yep.
Right?
That's correct.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a Warn winch.
No.
Like, that's quality stuff.
It's solid. It
and the
hasn't.
factory 55 just.
Those are great.
Cherry on top right there.
Yeah, those are great. That's my first Warren winch, and we've had to use it a couple times, and it's been fine.
Yeah,
so.
Awesome, man. Let's. I want to talk about these wheels because this truck looks really good, and these wheels just make it pop even more. And you've done some custom stuff with them too, right?
Yeah. So we're running the Icon Alpha wheels. Purchased them from Toy Tech Lifts, and then we just went ahead and had the inlays on them painted to match the body. So. You and I were chatting on this earlier. This is the first time I've been able to build a truck kind of as an adult and maybe have a little bit of money that I can put into it. We still do all the wrenching on it ourselves, so save a ton of money there. But so we splurged a little bit and painted the wheels to match the body.
They look beautiful in this truck, and they blend so well.
Yep.
So I think the only other thing I wanted to talk about, I noticed on the passenger fender there, you've got a safari snorkel hanging off, right?
Yeah, so kind of took one out of your playbook with the idea of I just want to keep the Toyota factory, just that reliability.
Yeah.
And so engine-wise, we really didn't do a lot. I wanted the snorkel because we're on a lot of dirt roads.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get as clean air into the engine as we could. And then, but from there, the engine stock, the transfer case is stock, drive shafts, all stock. Then it gets a little bit fun from there. So from there, we go into the differentials, and the differentials I went with 488 gears because I'm not trying to do 100 miles an hour down the freeway. So I wanted more power. I wanted more gearing. And then we have the E-locker in the back because this is an off-road edition. And then the ARB air locker in the front. So we're locked front and back. So even if it gets a little squirrely, we can flip the switches and take the easy way out.
Cool. So after you talked about the differentials, 488's got the ARB in the front, electric locker in the rear. What suspension are you running on this bad boy? Because it bombs pretty good through the desert.
Yeah, the idea we wanted with the suspension was be comfortable, be able to travel quickly off-road, but also still be able to crawl. And so what we went with was the Toyota Lifts Boss 2.5 kit. We have the add-on of the Total Chaos upper control arms, and then
Uniball, right?
Uniball, yep.
Uniball uppers?
Yep. And then it also has the remote reservoirs. So when we're moving quickly through, trying to keep that oil as cool as possible.
Yeah, that's nice, man. It seems to really work. So that's what you're running up front. What are you running out back?
Yep.
You got a big old set of leak packs back there, right?
Yeah. So out back, the shocks are from the Boss 2.5 kit, and then we have the Deaver full leaf pack replacement.
Gotcha.
And so I went 1,000 pounds over on that because I figured with the cantilever of all the weight on the back and then just the weight that's in the back already, it would need to be pretty significant.
Gotcha.
I wanted it to be a stable ride. Safety with getting the kids out being the primary concern, so I didn't want it swinging around a lot.
Okay.
We ran into a couple problems from the get-go with blowing seals on the shock absorber. I mean, we wheel it hard, we drive it hard, and what it really came down to was the bump stop just wasn't quite doing enough with all the weight.
So the shock was taking the
it was taking the beating, and it was blowing the seals.
Gotcha.
So we went with the Super Spring Sumo Spring bump stop.
Okay.
And that solved the problem.
Sounds good. All right, so I think what makes this truck work so good with the kids is this habitat. This thing's awesome. So let's talk about that a little bit. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. I was introduced to the habitat by Brian at Goose Gear.
Yeah.
And just seeing how simple it was to set it up quick. I mean, you're out there with kids. It's a lot of work setting up camp.
Tons, yeah.
And keeping the kids safe and all of that. So we went with the habitat. We ordered it from Goose Gear, and it's fantastic because the way it flips over like this whole area is sleeping surface. Okay. So there's a mattress right above our head, and our kids sleep in there. And then on the other side, you can get platforms that fold down. I get those from Goose Gear as well, that fold down, and then my wife and I sleep on that side with hiking mats.
Okay, very cool.
So, and what I really like is that this is a built-in awning. So we've been out camping in the rain and stuff, and everybody seems to congregate around our truck because you have this whole area.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It definitely a lot of room with 5 people. This has got to be super nice. I think this has got more square footage than my first condo had. So.
Yeah.
But it's cool now. So you've got all your sleeping up here, but now you've got tons of storage in here. And I'm seeing Goose Gear stuff, but like this is all built out for storage and compartments. So tell us about the inside of this thing and how it's set up.
Yep. So I'm a type A personality. I'm a recovering type A personality, so it's hard for me to say that.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say it out loud. But so I like to keep as much organization as I can despite the chaos of being out with kids. Yeah. And so I went with the Goose Gear plate system. Yeah. And then from there we have the Goose Gear cabinetry, and that allows us to store all of our sleeping gear, our Timbo Tuscatl, our first aid kit, the Boo Boo first aid kit. And then typically there's an ARB fridge here, but you're out with kids, so right now I'm storing monster trucks and Corvettes there. So
I feel you there.
Yeah, so there's that, and then what I went with was this aluminum, this L track that's out of hey Mike, could you stop playing?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thanks.
My bad.
Let's focus.
Sorry.
No, but yeah, I went with the aluminum, the L track that's like the out of airplanes, right? That's how they mount the airplane seats, and bolted that to the plate system, so that now I have all my bins and everything, and all our gear gets strapped down using perfect bungees, and it's super secure.
I love your use of perfect bungee here for your paper towel roll. That's pretty handy, nice and convenient place to get to.
Yeah, and it's I mean, man, we got introduced to the perfect bungee, and it's a phenomenal product. Has a lot of uses. Yeah. And then we keep all our food.
That's your dry storage up there.
Keep all our food in the front runner bins. So food, our jet boil, and you know, cups, tea, all of that
It's super
stuff.
easy to get to. So you got your dry food up there, and then you got you run an ARB fridge.
Yep.
Down here on the bottom, right?
Yep, ARB fridge on the bottom. So, and our full cooking setup is simply the Tembo Toscado,
Yeah.
a jet boil, and then we have the Blue Ridge Overland Gear. What is it? The cooking kit bag.
Yeah, the utensil bag.
That's
I've
all
run
our
the same
utensils,
one, yeah.
and that's it. So we've
That keeps it
condensed down.
simple. It doesn't take up a lot of room.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Yeah, and then the plano boxes, which get strapped down to the plate, have like plates and stuff like that, and then the other one has all our spare parts. So
Gotcha.
we keep, you know, the fuses and the belts and the hoses.
Yeah.
And then the last spare part we carry is a CV axle that actually stores really, really nicely behind the passenger seat.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
So the other thing you got back here, you've got your compressor mounted back here too, right?
Yeah, so there's a great little cubby underneath in the goose gear cabinetry. There's
Okay.
a great little cubby. We ran power back. Then we have there's a kill switch, fuse, and then there's a Blue Sea fuse block.
Oh, so you got power distribution back here for the compressor
Yep.
and lights and stuff too,
Yep,
right? You
lights and everything. So we run an ARB dual compressor, which is great because it's
Yes.
overkill for these
So
little
awesome.
33-inch tires. And then yeah, I used Lux rock lights,
Mm-hmm.
which I ordered from Off-Road Gorilla, for the rock lights underneath the truck, lighting inside the habitat, and then
Okay.
the lighting up here, and
Yeah.
just wired it to a fuse or to a switch right here. And so all our camp light is actually the red LEDs, because
Nice.
I'm trying to avoid the bugs,
Yeah.
and it lights the inside and here, and then
Very
a
cool.
white set underneath for the rock lights.
Very cool. I think the only other thing on this habitat that I really like is because you can actually access this thing from the side and not even have to open up the back, right? And you've got a lot of stuff stored on the side.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'll show you, because you know, like with 5 kids out here, this area might be taken up.
Oh yeah.
You know, we might be fixing somebody's
Yeah.
scraped knee, or there's cooking or something. So if somebody else needs to get to
Yeah.
something, come on over and I'll show you.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the monster truck on the way if you don't mind.
Sounds good. So this was an option that I would highly recommend for anybody looking
Yeah.
at the habitat. And basically what happens is you can access
so
now all the gear back here. So because of the goose gear build out, we get to the dry food bins, your jet boil, we can get to the first aid kit, and then we have our camping chairs here.
Yeah.
So really easy access.
Yeah. All right, Nick, let's talk about the interior of this truck a little bit. It's super clean in here. So tell us a little bit about what you got going on.
Yeah, I try to keep it's just not my style to have a whole bunch of gadgets and gizmos like in your line of sight. And so what I did was, with communications, I run an ICOM ham radio, and then I use the Bird Dog Technologies rear view mounting plate. So basically it gets the rear view mirror out of the way, and then
Okay.
you can mount a ram mount to it.
Oh, okay, cool.
And so that's where I have the face plate for the ham mounted, so it's tucked up nice and tight,
Nice.
not blocking my field of view. And then for my navigation, I do navigation off of my phone. And so I have the Hondo Garage, the Unholy dash mount mounting kit for my iPhone. And so that's really cool because it mounts right to the the fan port.
Oh,
for
like the AC vents
Yeah.
for the.
right to the AC vent, so you don't have to drill any holes or anything, and,
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
clean.
quite sturdy, so it's great. And then from there on the interior, I'm running a scan gauge because I like to keep track of what's going on with the vehicle.
Yep.
I have my Garmin InReach, which I mount to the headrest.
Okay.
And then in the headrest, I also mount one of our Rogue Overland MOLLE bags produced by 511 Tactical, and that holds all our headlamps.
Mm-hmm.
And then up there, I also have my Bubba Rope synthetic shackles.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
sweet.
for just the quick grab if somebody's in trouble and we
Yeah.
need to get it quick.
Do your kids use them for grab handles getting in and out of the truck too?
Grab handles, smacking each other in the
Oh,
head
yeah, mine
with
do all
them,
that
You
too.
know, it's all out. So
Awesome.
so there's that, and then I just was not a fan of the fact that you couldn't get leather in this truck, and with kids and fabric,
Yeah,
it just
it's
doesn't
easy,
mix.
yeah.
So I went to Classio.com and got the seat covers, which have been fantastic. And went ahead and got the orange stitching so that it kind of just accents with the truck a little bit.
Man, they look. I thought these were factory at first when I looked in here. I didn't realize these were seat covers, but man, those are sharp.
Yeah, yep, and they just go right over. It's a lot of work getting them over, but once you get them mounted up, they've been solid ever since we've had them. And then additionally inside, I mounted my S-Pod switch panel here.
Yeah.
I just pulled one of the plastic covers off and basically drilled some holes and mounted to it, and then the plastic cover mounts back, so that's nice and clean. And I guess the last thing about the interior, well, two things I would add is I have the 3 car seat mod.
Yeah,
so,
I'm with you on that one.
Yep, so you can fit 3 car seats in a Toyota Tacoma. And then the last thing, kind of my wife started years ago when I was running a off-road event in Moab, is she got me one of these little Cocapelli cutouts that is in my Xterra, and it's for basically protecting you on travels. And so we added a Cocapelli to this as well to keep us protected.
Bring the tradition over.
Bring the tradition over.
Nice.
So
awesome.
Yeah, but besides that, I just tried to keep it super clean.
Yeah, it looks good, man. It's clean in here, and I see you got a weather text in here too. Try to keep the carpet a little bit nice, dragging sand and mud in and out.
Oh yeah, and kids, they don't dust their feet off.
No.
So
why would they do that?
Yeah, so I did the weather tech, and then same with the in-channel wind deflectors. I like those just because you can leave the windows cracked, and if you're getting any rain or anything like that, it's not getting into the truck.
Yeah, nice. Looks good. It's super clean in here, and I like that. So very cool, man. Yeah, it's nice in here.
Thanks.
Nick, thanks for walking us around this awesome truck. It's been great watching you guys as a family running it the last couple of years. It's come a long way.
Oh yeah.
And thanks all you guys for watching it.
Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, hit the like button, and share the video. It helps us a lot. And also follow us on all social media avenues at Rogue Overland, and we'll see you on the trail.